Okay, good morning, guys. So our today's topic is antenna measurements. Okay, what we learned in the last class? In the last class, we will discuss about what are the different wave propagation techniques, right? Wave propagation techniques and classification of the layers. Okay, in wave propagation mediums, right? Okay, what is the basic classification? Okay, just revise the tree structure of the wave propagation, antennas and wave propagation. Okay, here wave propagation carries the information from one place to another place. Okay, the way or the path followed by the propagated signal from the transmitter to receiver. Okay, it's simply called as a wave propagation. Here, the wave propagation uh, mediums are classified as a three types. Okay, uh, according to the wave phenomenon, it travels from transmitter to receiver. Okay, they are ground wave, sky wave, space wave, and sky wave propagations. Right. Okay, from Earth surface to 16 kilometers height is generally considered as a atmosphere. Okay, if the propagation takes place on the surface of the Earth, then it is said to be ground wave propagation or simply surface wave propagation. Right. From 16 kilometers height to around 250 kilometers is simply considered as a space and the next sky, right? But from the Earth surface to towards sky, okay, uh, ionization layers are varied with respect to sun density, right, or sun rays. Okay, according to the ionization density, that atmosphere from 250 kilometers to around above 450 kilometers height is organized as several layers called D, E, F1 and F2. Of course, according to that ion density, those are organized as a layers, but in practical, but the density of those layers vary with respect to uh, time, like okay, the position of the sun or temperature from the sun, maybe daytime and nighttime, and according to solar eclipse. Okay, okay, and the different situations are there. Okay, according to those situations, or according to those timings, the ionization density is varied, right? And according to the change in ion density, okay, the frequency, okay, the transmitted signal refraction or reflection varied again. For suppose, according to the ion density, reflection takes place. For suppose, if the reflection not takes place with the transmitted signal, or simply the transmitted signal is not reflected back, instead it okay penetrate towards that the thick, towards that thickness of that layer, or simply escaped into the space. Such type of frequencies are called gyro frequencies. Okay, here not at all mentioned that concept, but remember that is the one of the important competitive bit. Okay, and the lowest frequency that is able to refract it from the nasal layer is the lowest visible frequency. Okay, and the frequency at which it started reflecting back is the critical frequency. Okay, and the maximum frequency that is able to refract it back is the maximum visual frequency. Okay, and the range of frequencies over which the tinizer layer able to reflect is called optimum usable frequency. Did you get the differences? Okay, at the same time, at with some elevation angle, the transmitting antenna transmits signal towards sky for the refraction or reflection. Okay, and the angle at which the transmitter is propagate signal towards the sky uh, is called the critical frequency. Sorry, the critical angle. The angle at which is the critical angle. The frequency at which is the critical frequency. Okay, Okay, did you get the differences between those? Okay, okay, critical frequency, critical angle, lowest visible frequency, maximum usable frequency, and optimum usable frequency. Okay, OIF, optimum usable frequency. Okay, these are the basic definitions according to wave propagation. And next concept is okay, already you know, okay, skywave, space wave, and ground wave, space wave, and skywave propagations. Uh, of course, that field strength expressions are also there, but it is not quite important. Okay, in the final examination, they frequently ask write a short notes on ground wave propagation or write a short notes on uh, skywave propagation and space wave propagation techniques. Okay, for 4 marks or 6 marks. Okay, please go through that. And already we learn what is meant by that ground wave, sky wave, or space wave propagations, right? And next concept is fading concept, right? Okay, when we are using the ground wave propagation, okay, when the transmitted electromagnetic wave, okay, transmitted over the earth's surface, but because of the nature of the earth, okay, that is a basic equivalent, the equivalent circuit of that earth surface is the leaky capacitor, right? Okay, dielectric in nature. Okay, because of that property the signal strength decreases. Okay, and while you are transmitting, if the signal strength is some 10 kilowatts, okay, at the end of the receiver it is available in the order of microwatts or milliwatts of range, right? But why that signal strength is deducted? Okay, because of that attenuation provided by the earth surface. Okay, that is called an attenuation. Okay, not only that earth surface characteristics, okay, the obstacles available in between the transmitter and receiver, obstacles available in between um, transmitter and receiver. Okay, already I told you, because of the obstacles existed between the transmitter and receiver, there occurs some reflections, some refractions, some diffractions, right? Okay, and because of that reflection, refraction, and diffraction, there occurs some relative phase shift. But at the receiver, because of the collection of that different phase shifted signals, okay, the total signal at the receiver always decreases. That is called a fading of the signal. Okay, of course, already you see what are the reasons behind the fading and what is the compensation for the fading signals. Okay, and how to compensate that fading signals, how to compensate, or what are the techniques generally we are used to, what are the techniques that are generally used to um, compensate that fading is called diversity techniques. What are the different diversity techniques? Okay, space diversity technique and frequency diversity techniques, right? Okay, uh, frequency diversity and space diversity. Okay, and how that space diversity or frequency diversity techniques compensate that fading signals. Okay, in the space diversity technique, here we use more than one antenna. Okay, for suppose okay, let's consider two antennas. Okay, these two antennas are polarized differently. For suppose, and here when that receiving antenna able to receive the maximum signal from the transmitter, okay, it receives the maximum signal from the transmitter if and only if the directional characteristics of both antennas are identical. Okay, already that point is, you know, why? Because that is important property of the antenna for maximum signal transfer. Okay, or simply simply just like a maximum power transfer. Okay, here both transmitting and receiving signal antennas, okay, must match with its radiational characteristics or polarizations. But because of the obstacles existed between the transmitter and receiver, okay, there is a possibility of mismatch between polarizations, right? Okay, for suppose transmitting and having vertically polarization, uh, but the receiving antenna is located to receive that vertically polarized signal, but obstacles existed between the transmitter and receiver, okay, makes that vertically polarized signal becomes horizontal. Okay, what happens here? Okay, but the receiver is designed to receive the vertically polarized antennas only. Okay, okay, that's why that horizontally polarized, of course, the vertically polarized, but because of the obstacles exist between the transmitter and receiver, that vertically polarized signal becomes horizontal. Okay, so here horizontal polarized signal mismatch with vertically polarized receiving antenna. Okay, because of that mismatch, it is unable to receive maximum signal. Okay, for suppose if I am locating along with that vertically polarized receiving antenna, in adjacent to that antenna, if I am locate horizontally polarized antenna, then of course, because of the obstacles, the change in polarization is also perceived by the horizontally polarized antenna. Okay, and of course, the transmitting antenna is vertically polarization. Transmitting antenna uses vertical polarization, but because of that obstacles, that a horizontal vertical becomes horizontal. But the main receiving antenna, which is vertically polarized, is unable to receive that horizontal polarization because of that refractions or reflections. But the adjacent horizontally polarized receiving antenna able to receive that entire signal without any loss. In that way, okay, that fading is avoided, or that is simply called as space diversity. Space diversity means that receiving antennas are spaced apart equal distance, okay, of the wavelength. Okay, okay, that is the first concept. And the second concept is, okay, second concept is uh, frequency diversity technique. Okay, if I am transmitted the signal with some specific frequency as okay, some 1.2 megahertz. Okay, but during the propagation, because of the obstacles exist within the transmitter and receiver, if the frequency of the signal may changed. Okay, but the receiving antenna is tuned to the actual 1.2 megahertz, but the frequency is changed. That's why that receiving antenna unable to receive that changed frequency or scaled frequency. Okay, that's why I have to tune those different antennas for different frequencies, right? Okay, but the frequency, okay, that received frequency must match with any one of that receiving antennas. Okay, um, okay, that perfectly matched antenna able to receive that entire frequency, right? That is the concept called uh, frequency diversity technique, right? Similarly, in the wave propagation concept, we also discussed about radio horizon, or skip distance. What is meant by skip distance? The skip range between the transmitter and receiver when we use skywave propagation. Okay, and it's just like a triangle shape. Okay, in triangle, okay, see here, this is the triangle, this is the transmitting antenna, and this is the receiving antenna. This is the nearest point from the transmitter where the received signal occurs. This is the received signal occurs, and this is the minimum distance. Okay, this is called a skip distance, right? This is called skip distance. Okay, simply radio horizon is also there. Radio horizon means, okay, the distance between the transmitter and receiver where the line of sight propagation occurs. Okay, that is called a radio horizon. Okay, that is also called as line of sight communication. Okay, of course, the radio origin is the distance between the transmitter and receiver, and another concept is the line of sight communication. Line of sight communication means already you know. Okay, okay, until our visibility. Okay, అంటే మనకి తెలుసు కదా కంటికి కనిపించినంత దూరం అని చెప్తాం కదా దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ లైన్ ఆఫ్ సైట్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ అంటే కంటికి కనిపించిన దూరంలో యాక్చువల్లీ we must locate one repeater or an amplifier for further communication and further propagation of that signals. Okay, that is called a LOS. Loss communication means not a LOS communication. That is completely line of sight communication, right? Line of sight communication. Of course, okay, a few derivations are also there. Okay, I will tell you with okay, with the derivation. Okay, and it's very small derivations they are. Okay, and of course, remaining propagation techniques are also there, but I will tell you in detail. Okay, of course, regarding to the fading concept, this antenna measurement is also one of the key concepts. Of course, this is the topic from uh, fifth unit, last topic, antenna measurements. Okay, see here, just I want to explain the what are the parameters behind the antenna measurements. Okay, what are the parameters we actually want to measure, okay, from the antenna. Okay, what are the different antenna parameters that is learned from the first unit? What are the different antenna parameters? Different antenna parameters learned from the first unit. Here, antenna measurements. Okay, um, testing of real antenna is a fundamental antenna theory. Okay, all the antenna theory is a world doesn't add up to hill the beams in the antenna under test won't perform as desired. Okay, leave it all those topics. Okay, leave all those topics. Antenna measurements means the antenna, the antenna, uh, which parameters you want to measure. Okay, for which antenna, okay, for which antenna you want to measure those parameters. Okay, is called simply DUT, okay, or simply AUT. Yeah, or simply DUT means design under test, or AUT is the antenna under test. Okay, okay. See here, okay, we don't need all this, but here some of the theory is given before the antenna measurements as testing of real antenna is a fundamental to antenna theory. Of course, all the antenna theory in the world doesn't add up to a hill of beams if the antennas under test don't perform as desired. Again, practical. Antenna measurement is a science up to itself. It is a very good antenna measurer. Once said to me, a good antenna measurements don't just happen. Okay. What exactly we are looking for when we test for measure antennas? Okay, basically we want to measure many fundamental parameters which should be antenna based or totally we see uh, in the first unit. Okay. The total 14 parameters are there. Okay. But no need to measure all the 14 parameters, but some crucial parameters are there. Okay. Those parameters are measured with the concept of antenna measurements. See here, the most common and desired measurements of the antenna radiation pattern, including antenna gain and efficiency and impedance and bandwidth and polarization. See here, these are the important antenna parameters, okay, which are used for they improve the efficiency of the antenna in a real-time conditions. See here, the procedures and equipment used in antenna measurements are described in the following sections. See here, first one is the required equipment and ranges. Okay, what are the different equipments are required? What are the different equipments required to measure? What are the different antenna parameters required for the measurement of antenna parameters? See here, required equipment and ranges. In the first section, the antenna measurements, we look at the required equipment and types of antenna ranges. Of course, indoor and outdoor ranges are there. It is very important question in final examinations also. Indoor and outdoor ranges. Antenna ranges means indoor and outdoor ranges. Indoor means uh, uh, it is capable. Indoor ranges means within the room simply. Okay, within the room. Okay, outdoor means okay, we are unable to accommodate that setup in the room. Okay, that's why you go for the outdoor. Okay. So that is indoor and outdoor. Of course, okay, few differences are also there. Okay, I will tell you in clear. So first, the required equipment and ranges is required equipment and types of antenna ranges used in modern antenna measurement systems. And second one is radiation pattern and gain measurements. Radiation pattern measurement and gain measurement. It is very easy. Okay, if we think about in practical. Okay, if you think about it in a practical, it is very easy. The radiation pattern and gain measurement. See here, the second antenna measurement section discuss how to perform most fundamental antenna measurements, determining the antenna radiation pattern and extracting the gain of the antenna. Okay, and phase measurement is also there. Okay, and just how to measure the phase of the signal by using CR4, just like that. Here also, phase measurement of the received signal is also measured in comparison with transmitted signal, and how much phase change occurs. Okay, because of the change in the phase leads to okay, mismatched polarization. Okay, because of that, there occurs a maximum fading, right? That's why phase measurements. The third antenna measurement section focuses on determining the phase information from an antenna radiation pattern. The phase is more important in terms of relative phase. Relative phase means transmitted signal phase with received signal phase. That is the relative phase. Okay. Of course, based on the phase difference, the radiation patterns are also changed. Okay, that is also the radiation pattern means that range of polarization. Similarly, polarization measurements. Okay. The fourth antenna measurement section discusses the techniques for determining the polarization of the antenna under test. These techniques used to classify an antenna as linearly, okay, that is linearly. Linearly means horizontal or vertical. Okay. Horizontal or vertical. Linear means horizontal or vertical. Okay. Linearly, circularly, and elliptically. Okay. Linear polarization, circular polarization, and elliptical polarization. That is the polarization measurements. And last fifth one is the impedance measurements. Okay, what is the okay, to transfer the maximum power from transmitter to receiver. Okay, you have to know the antenna impedance, antenna impedance, antenna input resistance. Okay, like see here, that's why the antenna impedance is also one of the crucial parameters under antenna measurements. See here, the fifth antenna measurement section illustrates how to determine the antenna impedance as a function of frequency. Here the focus, okay, here impedance is always the function of frequency, right? Z equal to okay, R plus some JXC, right? X is always dependent on frequency. Okay, that's why here the antenna impedance has a function of frequency. Here the focus is on the use of network analyzer. network analyzer. Okay, and next one is the scaling model measurements. Scale model measurements. Scale model measurements means just like in your VLS. Okay, of course you don't know the scaling models in VLS. Okay, scaling model means uh, okay, and that large size antenna is unable to accommodate in a room. Large size antennas are unable to accommodate in a room. But if I want to measure the parameters of those antennas, okay, you have to build scaling models. Okay, just like while you okay in the first year drawing exams are there, right? Drawing subject is there. Okay, where the actual model is scaled to some range. Okay, that is the scaling model. Okay. Here, the sixth antenna measurement section explains the useful concepts of scale model measurements. Okay, of course, this page illustrates to obtain the measurements when the physical size of the desired test is too large. Okay, that is the point. Okay, just I told you, no. Next one is the specific absorption rate measurements. Okay, even they are designing our mobiles. Okay, and they're designed with some frequency. Okay, they must perform the test for that specific absorption rate. Otherwise, our human skin is exposed to okay radiation effects. Our human skin is exposed to radiation effects. Okay, that's why they always perform the test or measurement of that specific absorption rate. Okay, and a human okay they perform the experiment with human tissues. Okay, that's why that is called a specific absorption rate measurements. You see here the final antenna measurement section illustrates the new field of SAR measurements and explain what SAR is. Okay, it's very interesting. These measurements are critical in consumer electronics, and antenna design consistently needs an alter in order to meet Federal Communication Committee, that FCC stands for Federal Communication Committee. Okay, Federal Communication Committee SCR requirements. Okay, if FCC SCR not met, okay, okay, that's why just press star hash 07 hash in your mobile. See here, okay, just try this in your mobile. Okay, on the dial pad, simply press star hash 07 hash. Okay, then we get maximum SCR level. Maximum SCR level okay, the maximum SCR level of your mobile designed antenna frequency. Okay, see here, when I press the same star hash 07 hash on my mobile, head SAR is 1.197, okay, watts per kg. Simply body SAR 0. Okay, head SAR means the maximum specific absorption rate of okay 1.197 watts per kg at head level, and body level is 0.829. Why? Because our human brain is also having some higher absorption rate. Okay, 0.829 watts per kg. Okay, of course this is the standard level. Okay, this is lies in the standard level. Okay, otherwise most of the China mobiles that SAR level is not mentioned. Why? Because that is at hazardous level. That's why okay um, that China mobiles are very dangerous. Okay, in the radiation point of view. Okay, our human skin is definitely exposed to okay or simply okay, that our body cells okay, or live body cells are simply exposed to cancer. Okay, that's why that SCR is very important. Okay, and the safe range is always decided by that FCC, okay, Federal Communication Committee of okay, government of India, and similarly okay, and for each country some standards are there. Okay, but FCC is our Indian Federal Communication Committee. Okay, that always put some safe range. Okay, that is the concept of SCA. Or see here, required equipment and antenna measurements. Required equipment in antenna measurements. Okay. What are the general required equipment for the antenna measurements? Of course, it always depends upon the type of the antenna parameters we want to measure. See here, for the antenna under test equipment, we will attempt to illustrate that test antenna. Okay, the test antenna is also called as AUT, antenna under test, with a plane wave. Okay, this is of course this will be approximated by using a some transmitting antenna with known radiation pattern and characteristics in such a way that the fields of incident upon the test antenna are approximately a plane waves. Okay, here they assume more will be discussed about this in the later sections. Okay, see here the source antenna and the transmitter, receiving antenna and positioning system. Okay, receiver antenna positioning system. Okay, what is the transmitting antenna system? What is the receiving antenna system? What is the positioning system? See here, these components will briefly discussed here. The source antenna should be the course of radiated well at the desired test frequency. It must have a desired polarization and suitable for uh, receiving antenna in the view of beam width and bandwidth. Okay, and range, test range, or radiated range. Okay, source antennas are often horn antennas. Okay, why? Because why we always prefer the horn antennas? Because its radiational characteristics are is always unidirectional. Okay, that's why it is very effective in antenna measurements. Similarly, transmitting system is capable of outputting the stable known power. Okay, the output frequency should also be tunable and reasonably stable. Okay, and receiving system is simply needs to determine how much power is received from the test antenna, or simply receive one watt meter which is connected to that receiving antenna. This can be done via the simple bolometer. See here, okay, they prefer simple bolometer, which is a device for measuring the energy of the incident electromagnetic wave. Right? Okay, simply I am told the wattmeter is generally it gives us a bolometer. The receiving system can be more complex with high quality amplifiers for low power measurements and more accurate detection devices. Okay. Similarly, the positioning system is also there for the orientation of the test antenna. Okay, so if you want to measure the radiation pattern of the test antenna as a function of angle, uh, we need to rotate a test antenna so that the source antenna illuminates the test antenna from the different angles. The positioning system is used for this purpose. Okay, especially for directional characteristics. Okay, and another one is the anchoic chamber. Okay, anchoic chamber means see here the room which is filled with the pyramid shape like. Okay, see here the anchoic chamber is look like this. See here how it looks like. Okay, it is completely equipped with okay, top bottom on the floor, okay, off the floor. Okay, pyramid shapes are okay putting together, okay, for the absorption of the radio waves. 5 minutes. Anchoic chambers are indoor antenna ranges. The walls, ceiling and floor are lined with a special electromagnetic wave absorbing material. Okay, elevated with 53 degrees 52 minutes for perfect absorption of that radio waves. Okay, indoor ranges are desirable because of the test conditions can be much more tightly controlled than that of outdoor ranges. Okay, that is the advantage of indoor range measurement. The material is often jagged in shape as well, making these chambers quite interesting to see. Okay, the jagged triangle shapes are designed so that what reflected from them tends to spread in a random directions, and what is added together from all the random reflections tend to add incoherently and is the suppressed further. Okay? The picture of an anchoic chamber is look like this. It is very important. Of course, not in exam point of view, in the view of okay, uh, your practical knowledge, it is very important. See here, the drawback of the unchecked chamber is that they often need to be quite large. Often antennas need to use several wavelengths away from that each other at a minimum to simulate a far field conditions. Hence, it is desired to have an unchecked chamber at a large possible. Okay, but constant practical constraints often limit their size. Okay, see here, the universities with anchored chambers typically have a chambers in the size of 3 to 5 meters in length. Okay, length, width, and height. Because of the size constraints, because of the RF absorbing material typically works best at UHF at higher anchored chambers at a most often used for frequencies above 300 megahertz. Okay, of course, the chamber should also be large enough that the source antenna main lobe is not in the view of a side walls or ceiling or on the floor. Okay, see here, this is the elevated range, elevated range, compact range. Okay, okay.